But we begin tonight with breaking news coming out of the White House. The president says he and the First Lady are beginning a COVID-19 quarantine. Thanks for joining us at 10. I'm David Rose.
And I'm Brian Flores. This move happening after Hope Hicks, the president's closest aide, tested positive for the virus. Q13's Matt Lorch is here now with what we know. Matt.
Well, this is big. This is breaking. The president just confirmed on Twitter himself he has tested positive for COVID-19. Let's go ahead and put up that tweet on the screen coming from Donald J. Trump himself tonight. At FLOTUS and I, the First Lady of the United States is at FLOTUS, tested positive for COVID-19. So both the President and the First Lady testing positive. He goes on to say we will begin our quarantine and recovery process immediately. We will get through this together. So now let's go to some video. Once again, he had spent time with Hope Hicks. Here you can see the President walking onto Air Force One yesterday, and following behind him is Hope Hicks. Here's what we know. Hicks began feeling mild symptoms during a plane ride with the president returning from a rally in Minnesota last night. That's according to an administration official. She was quarantined away from others on the plane, and her diagnosis was confirmed today. She spent time with the president on Air Force One and Marine One, which is a much smaller helicopter, during that trip. Hicks also traveled with the president to the big debate in Cleveland on Tuesday on Air Force One. She is the closest White House official to President Trump to test positive for the virus so far. Once again, they spent time together. The president spoke about this earlier today before he got that confirmation. Here's what he had to say on Fox News.
Positive. She's a hard worker, a lot of masks, so she wears masks a lot, but she tested positive. And I just went out with a test. I'll see what, because we spent a lot of time, and the First Lady just went out with a test also. So whether we quarantine or whether we have it, I don't know.
So what now? Well, at this point, we just don't know how this could impact the president's schedule. He had rallies scheduled. He has a debate coming up in just 2 weeks. So once again, most people end up quarantining for at least a couple weeks. What this means for the president, what this means for his health, what it means for the campaign, all things to be answered in the coming days. But the big breaking news headline tonight, the president, who has been criticized for not wearing a mask often enough, was around Hope Hicks. She tested positive today. And then tonight, the president just confirming in just the last few minutes, right before we came on the air, that he and the First Lady have tested positive for this virus. We're going to continue to gather reaction. As soon as we learn anything more, we will bring it to you throughout this newscast. But for now, we're live in the newsroom. Matt Lorch, Q13 News.
We're following breaking news right now in Tacoma, where police are conducting a death investigation. This is a live look at the scene. It's happening on South J Street. Now, police were called just before 7 after neighbors heard a single gunshot. When officers got there, they found an unresponsive man who died at the scene. Right now, they're calling it a death investigation. They're waiting on the medical examiner's report for an official cause of death.
We're also learning tonight that the Puyallup School District is pushing back the timing of bringing back more students to in-person learning. The district says due to rising trends of COVID-19 cases in Pierce County, the Department of Health has advised it to wait until there is a trending decline in case numbers. The district had initially planned to bring back students in grades K through 1 on October 6th and grades 2 through 6 on October 13th. The district says it has received confirmation from the health department to allow kids with special needs to continue attending in-person classes, but only in small groups.
Meanwhile, 73 new COVID cases tied to UW's Greek system have been confirmed within the last week, 88 total since September 1st. University officials say they believe the cases are isolated to fraternities, but are urging people to get tested if they think they might have been exposed. It follows another outbreak in July when more than 150 students in 15 fraternities reportedly tested positive.
Coronavirus cases are again on the rise in our state after seeing the curve rise and fall twice. Here is a look of the positive cases tonight. And while the gray on this graph showing incomplete results still coming in, we've dropped from the late summer highs, but the blue line of weekly positives is again going up. The latest projection from the Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluation illustrates the death toll surging more than 370,000 people in the U.S. they estimate by January of 2021. Data data from the global researchers based at the University of Washington show us a surge in case numbers around the holidays. Some communities are flattening the curve. Others are seeing an uptick in daily case numbers again. One doctor we spoke with says people, though, are getting too relaxed on the rules.
It may not be fun, but it shouldn't be hard just to follow those simple guidance rules. If people do that, self-protection and self-care in the community, it makes it easier for us to do our job here.
And he says we all have to increase our efforts in simple things like wearing a mask, frequent hand washing, and keeping a safe distance.
All right, let's check in with Aaron Miowski tonight to get a first look at your weather, and it's a really pleasant evening out.